Kevin was just a bit off. My prediction for the year 2020 is that everyone will live peacefully and they will cure every disease there is. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Kevin was a little bit off. 2020 happened, it wasn't good, and then it never ended, right? This video brought to you by my YouTube members and patrons. Thank you, guys. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. Today we are going to be taking a look at r/agedlikemilk. This is a subreddit dedicated to predictions and statements that, much like a glass left out in the summer sun, spoiled horribly. I'm sure you can guess, given the year we are having, what a lot of these predictions will be about. Very quickly, before we begin, I just wanted to mention that, as always, YouTube members and patrons, you guys get an extra video every single week. And if you're not a YouTube member or patron and you would like to get an extra video every single week, you can get that video for as low as £1 a month, which is basically 25p every single week. So consider that. The videos are fun. I really liked this week's video, so yay. Other than that, let's get into the subreddit, shall we? 2024 Town Hall. Question: how do people go to Congress and become millionaires? Green: I don't know. I haven't found that money tree up there. They all seem to have. Pelosi supposedly has some great stock tips. Now, this is coming from Marjorie Taylor Greene, a very right-wing politician who, when she first joined Congress, had a net worth of about $700,000. She's now worth around $22 million. So, yeah, not found that money tree that the others have, right? It's the classic, she deflects this question onto Pelosi, because Pelosi famously did get quite rich through being in Congress. She deflected that onto them as like that's not happening to me. I'm not getting rich through being in Congress, and then very much did. So this one is, a classic what went wrong. It's Kanye wearing a "Say No to Nazis, New America," and then Kanye wearing a swastika. Yeah, he went down a deep rabbit hole, right? And the answer to, what went wrong is extreme mental illness comboed with drugs, comboed with the only people really giving him support being Nazis. Like, he was throwing out some outlandish and insane views and statements, and then those statements were getting support from a very specific group of people, which was then making him feel seen in a time where he was severely mentally ill, right? So that's basically the pipeline for Kanye. Someone wake me up when 2022 is over, posted in 2022, and then a response to that, still in 2022. Hey, it's now 2025. Trump is president again, and the Supreme Court has removed civil rights and voting rights. Nationalist Christians, Nazis for short, are bringing back good old family values. Marvel has released their 10,000th movie. Bees are extinct. Checking in 30 minutes ago. What the fuck have I done? Oh no. That was quite a prediction. Almost not an aged like milk. I mean, it's an aged like milk because they were saying this as a joke, but it kind of aged like wine because, most of what they said came true. Oh no. So in 2012, Donald Trump said, "How many illegal foreign donations will Obama collect this final week? Another scandal ignored by the liberal media." And then naturally following that up is, the fact that Donald Trump just accepted a plane as a donation, definitely not a bribe, a donation that is being used as Air Force One and then will be his personal plane once he is no longer president. If people can't see the blatant security issues and blatant corruptness with a sitting president accepting a plane as a gift from a foreign country, not only is that plane probably full of bugs, let's be honest, they're listening in on everything Trump says, but the threat of them being able to just press a button and the wings fall off the plane, it's corrupt, but it's also stupid. Dear raw milk drinkers, behold your future. West Virginia politician falls ill due to drinking unpasteurized milk after helping pass a law that legalized raw milk. What's this? The consequences of my actions? No, never, couldn't be. That thing that every actual health official has been saying is bad for you is bad for you? What? It's almost like we pasteurize milk for a reason. I have high hopes for this new Trump era, and I wish the entire administration the best of luck. I truly hope Trump accomplishes everything he says he will. Congratulations to Republicans. Wokeness is dead and the Democrat brand is in ashes. Let's try not to screw it up. Uh-oh. The first time I can remember crying during a State of the Union. Thank you, President Trump. This is so beautiful. Anyone who has been impacted by brain cancer knows how special this is. Yep, we know how this is gonna end. My fellow Republicans, this is wrong. I am absolutely heartbroken at the news the funding for brain cancer research has been completely cut from NIH. My father and millions of others have been treated there for glioblastoma and other brain cancers with miracle doctors and nurses. At NIH, among other treatments, is a proton beam. They only exist in 2 other places other in America. The proton beam lasers around the brain tumors and kills them. It is nothing short of a miracle among all the other cancer treatments at NIH. Those of us who are part of the brain cancer community are mourning today. America and NIH have always been a beacon of hope for those of us paying for a cure. Some government spending is needed and appropriate. Cancer research is one of them. I am heartbroken by this. Heartbroken. What's that? That thing that everybody has been saying will happen has happened? Don't get me wrong. I am furious that this kind of funding has been cut. Genuinely livid that funding for people with brain cancer and other health issues has been cut. Right? Livid by that. I am, however, not surprised, as we have all been saying that this is something that Trump will be doing for the last decade. Let's be real, we were expecting healthcare to be cut the second Trump was elected the first time. This has been happening constantly. Every single year that Trump has been a president, things like this have been happening. And anybody that hasn't been paying attention to that has been completely oblivious to that, but goes on to say how great it is that Trump has been elected and that wokeness is dead, is an idiot. I'm sorry to say, but if you voted for Trump when you have people that are suffering with brain cancer and requiring American government-funded treatments, you have done this to yourself. You've done this to your family members. We've been saying what Trump is like for so long. The man is literally a career con man who was elected president, and people are surprised when the career con man is only out to make money for himself. I hope you're happy that wokeness is dead. That wokeness is dead. It's not. It's not dead, but you know what is dead? Funding for people with health conditions. Whenever you hear these ghouls bemoaning and devaluing American liberal arts educations, please understand that it's your children they don't want going to college, not their own. College is un-American, literally. Our daughter-in-law received her master's degree today at the UW Medicine thanks to her employer for helping her further her education. Yep, pretty much. It's the classic, if we can keep others uneducated, then we can keep them believing what we want them to believe. But our own children, we're gonna give them every opportunity they can have because they're actually important. Not those other pathetic peasants that are just there to vote. No, they don't matter. Only our own children who we're sending to college. Yeah, it's pathetic, isn't it? Ukraine is losing its drone supremacy 4 hours ago. Ukraine reportedly strikes down over 40 Russian strategic bombers in mass drone attack 24 minutes ago. This one aged like milk in a single day, not even in a single day, in a few hours. That's impressive. That's Ukraine is losing its drone supremacy. Ukraine goes on to do one of the biggest drone strikes. Yeah, that one aged like milk, huh? After a long night of talks mediated by the United States, I am pleased to announce that India and Pakistan have agreed to a full and immediate ceasefire. Congratulations to both countries on using common sense and great intelligence. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Donald Trump here claiming, yeah, I'm responsible for this ceasefire between Pakistan and India. The United States mediated this. We did this. It lasted less than 3 hours. So that's another aged like milk in just a few hours. The ceasefire lasted a few hours. It didn't even make a day. Good job, Trump. You really did a good job with that one, didn't you? I think it's just hilarious how quickly he bragged about the ceasefire that he had achieved and how quickly it ended. Mark my words, the next pope will be ultra conservative. Yeah, that didn't happen, did it? Don't get me wrong. I don't think that the new pope is a liberal by any means. However, I think for a pope, he's fairly liberal, but you know, he's the Pope. However, this is progress. This is more of a liberal Pope than I think we've ever had. So that is progress. But don't get me wrong, he's still a Pope. I still don't think that this guy is going to be out here going, yeah, gay rights for everybody. Gay people should get married. Woo! But he's still the Pope, you know? The Vatican, I think, would still take issue with that. White House. Ridiculous to think Trump doing anything for his own personal wealth. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said Friday it would be ridiculous to think President Trump is personally benefiting from his time at the White House, calling out reporters for questions about his family's business ventures while in office. It's blatant propaganda to have the White House saying this. The White House. But then, breaking news, President Trump plans to accept a luxury Boeing 747 from Qatar that he will use as Air Force One and will keep using after he leaves office. But he's not doing anything for personal gain, right? No. That's what the propagandists are saying, so it must be true. But also, the Boeing 747 aside, how can you ever possibly claim that Trump isn't benefiting monetarily for his time as president when he has merch that he's selling and that he makes new merch on his store? He put new merch on his store while president that he sells. The dude is profiting off his presidency because he's selling merch based on it. That alone should tell you that this guy is out to make money off of his presidency. Combo that with, you know, the fact that he's cutting taxes on himself and on his family members, the fact that he uses government spending, right, tax-earned money to go and play golf at his own resorts and spend government money on his own resorts, which is funneled into his own businesses. Like, this dude is out for nothing but personal gain. That's his whole presidency plan. And anybody that believes otherwise has fallen for a blatant con man who has a bridge to sell you. In 1996, Ukraine handed over nuclear weapons to Russia in exchange for a guarantee never to be threatened or invaded. Man, it was a long milk to spoil, but it was a milk nonetheless. Yeah, that one, you know, they had a good run, like 25 years. That's not bad, but it still spoiled, didn't it? I feel like, you know, a treaty like this that says Russia will never invade Ukraine and then Russia going on to invade Ukraine should be a severe sign that Russia needs to be stopped. Like, everybody is sure some weapons are being sent to Ukraine to help them in these efforts, but the complete complacency for the rest of the world's governments that are just sitting there and letting Russia invade Ukraine, going, yeah, here's a bit of money, but like, we're not actually going to do anything to help, is pathetic and cowardly. Right? And the idea that Russia would stop after Ukraine's invasion is done is also ridiculously stupid, because they won't stop. Putin is a megalomaniac, and the minute Ukraine has been invaded, he will be moving on and expanding, right? It doesn't end there. So stop it. Make it end now before it gets worse. But no, our governments would never do that because they're all run by spineless cowards. Feels like Elon and Trump will have a big falling out in the first year once this honeymoon is over. Because Elon will now be forced to articulate a position on every Trump decision and policy, and he's not going to like a lot of them. And both have big egos and minimal filter. Both are also loyal AF and have many shared values. They'll do just fine. Yeah, that lasted ages, didn't it? That lasted, as this person said, 1 year. Not even 1 year, to be frank. And now Elon is claiming that Trump is a pedophile on the Epstein files. So, you know. But also, to call Trump and Elon loyal AF, neither of them are loyal AF. They're loyal to one thing in their lives: money. That's the only thing that they are loyal to. Trump and Elon being loyal AF is not something I ever thought I would hear. You know, the multiple times divorced Trump and Elon, both of them, who don't spend time with their own children. Like, yeah, they're so loyal. Ignore the prophets of doom. Brexit will be good for Britain. From the day Britain left the EU, this reset was inevitable. What a pointless waste of money and effort. The classic people that voted for Brexit claiming they always knew that Brexit was a bad idea. No, you f***ing didn't. We told you, but you voted for it. And now you're like, gosh, I told you guys. You're the problem here. here. You voted for this Rockstar, thankful not to be releasing GTA 6 during Trump's presidency, posted in 2018. And then the game was delayed so severely that Trump became president again. And unless they delay it for another 3.5 years, it's gonna come out during Trump's presidency, isn't it? Oh dear. And the final post. The sweetest old man makes the worst grilled cheese I've ever seen. Beloved YouTuber exposed as predator. And that's where I'm gonna end the video. No, I'll talk about this a little bit, but come on, we saw the grilled cheese that this guy made. He was a monster from the start. It's always the ones that seem lovely, right, that end up being evil. And obviously, you know, not every YouTuber is a predator. However, a lot of predators turn out to be YouTubers. And I think it's that there's an element of character that you have when you're a predator that is putting yourself out there in a way that appeals to children, right? So a lot of predators have that drive, and a lot of them are more likely to go far on YouTube because of that drive, right? That's why we see it so much, because they have that drive and it gives them opportunities. And it's unfortunate that happens. It's really and unfortunate that happens. There's nothing really we can do, you know? You can't oust a YouTuber for being a predator without that YouTuber doing something predatory, right? So there's kind of nothing you can do until it happens, unfortunately. And that sucks. And that's unfortunately why people like this thrive. The only thing we can do is make sure to ostracize them and to force them out of communities the minute they do even a minuscule amount of predatory behavior. That's all we can do. And that's where I'm going to end the video, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. Aged like milk. A lot of things go wrong really fast, especially in the last year, huh? If you would like to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click on that join button on the channel to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. I'm going to keep making content regardless. A huge, massive special thank you to all of the YouTube members and patrons that do support me. All of your names are on screen right now. It helps so much, and it means so much. So thank you to everybody that does. If you are supporting the channel or are considering supporting the channel, you will get one extra video every single week, so please do consider that. The Patreon and YouTube member only videos go up every single Monday, and you get them for as low as £1 a month, so please do consider that. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.